Hello everyone, welcome back to the IndieGeekGuy channel, and we're back with another movie reaction, this time for Magnum Force. Stepping back into the world of Dirty Harry once again. I know a lot of people wanted this, they wanted me to go into the sequels of these movies. I'm stepping into the sequels of the Dirty Harry films with a bit of reservation, because whilst I'd heard people talking about Dirty Harry, like, all my life, it's been parodied countless times, it's been talked about, etc, etc, etc. I don't really hear too many people talking about the sequels. I knew they existed, but I never really heard anyone talking about any of them. The first time I really heard people talking about the sequels properly was after putting up my video to the first film and having people in the comments talk about their favourite one of the sequels. And from what I gather, everyone has their own taste, because I feel like I saw at least one person say one of the other ones was their favourite. Like, it seems to be just all over the place, down to personal preference in terms of which one you seem to enjoy the most. So we're going to go into this, see what it's all about. I don't know the plot at all. All I know is that at the end of the previous movie, Harry threw his badge into a lake after stopping the villain from the last movie, seemingly resigning from the police force and maybe going off to be his own detective, as it were, like a PI or something along those kind of lines, maybe. I don't know, but that is purely based on what I saw happen at the end of the last movie. Basically, got his guy, he was very angry that the system let him down, that he wasn't able to put the guy behind bars, even though he felt like he could have done, but because he did it unlawfully, the guy got off scot-free, so they just decided to go full vigilante mode and just kill him, basically, which was fun. It was a fun little romp at the end, and it was certainly a good set of action sequences that happened. Going into this one, I know that some people say there is some good action beats in this one as well, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm curious to see what they do with Harry and where that's going to be going, like what direction they start pushing things in. So yeah, completely blind. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if it's any good compared to the first movie. I really like the direction in the first movie, so hopefully we get some good direction in this as well, because it looked very stylish, the first movie, so we'll see. That's basically all I've got going into this one. But before we start, remember to hit the thumbs up button if you do enjoy this video, and maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos. There's a bunch of other content on the channel. If you do decide to check that out as well, that would be amazing, and I'd appreciate that quite a bit. But other than that, we're going to jump into Magnum Force. What's funny about this is that I can see the hand moving, so someone's having to hold, just having to hold this revolver up for the entirety of these opening credits. Just stand there with your arm out, hold it. Oh, the thumb's going up, the thumb's going up. Don't shoot me.
Do you feel lucky?
Clearly I'm not lucky. Clearly I'm not. Not the most creative opening title sequence, but fine, whatever. Hold the gun up as long as you can. Lovely.
Mr. Weinstein, explain the legal technicality dealing with the lack of admissible evidence.
That's a legality that can't be explained at this time.
As prosecuting attorney, how do you feel about the court's decision?
This has happened before. It'll probably happen again. I have no more comments.
Okay, someone's got off scot-free, and it seems people are upset about it. So, is this movie going to be touching upon how the law doesn't touch people who are wealthy, maybe?
And I'm sure we haven't heard the last of the Ricca case.
Well, that was menacing. I feel like this cop is gonna take the law into his own hands. I feel like the introductory the introductory shot of him putting his jacket on was too ominous for its own good.
I'll have to see the registration.
Come on, give me that license.
Yeah, he wasn't messing around. He was. I mean, why did he just start with this? Why take the license? But yeah, that was pretty much what I expected to happen. Is he just a cop again? Is he just a detective again, even though they clearly showed him throwing his badge away?
Well, you just might need me on a job like this. Whoever did this was very good at it.
And I never had to take my gun out of its holster once. I'm proud of that.
Well, you're a good man, Lieutenant. A good man always knows his limitations.
Well, how long did the last partners go?
A couple weeks. Don't worry, he's still alive. Teaching college.
Good to know he's still alive. Good to know. Good to know he actually did leave the Force like he said he was going to do. Unlike Harry, who is just like, I don't know, on a drug.
Any problem here?
What are you doing here? I'm sorry you'll have to leave.
Police officer.
We've got 2 frantic hijackers on our New York flight.
Now we've got hijackers? Jesus.
May I make a suggestion?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Undercover Clint going in to shoot them.
Where to?
You get us up, I'll tell you where to when we're up.
Is he really going to try and fly this plane?
You want to put us in takeoff position?
Hi, I don't know what I'm doing. Someone thought this was a good idea, though. I am sort of wondering what this has to do with anything at the moment, though.
That's right, Lieutenant. We were lucky enough to have one of your men here. He's on board now, an Inspector Callahan.
He's gonna... Jesus Christ, I just can't get away from Callahan. He's everywhere today.
Can you fly?
Nope.
Oh, God. I mean... Sort of works. Sort of works. Man, you're... Okay, I was about to say you're lucky you didn't just start shooting randomly. I mean, pretty fucking good.
What are you doing here, Lieutenant?
He's so angry. He's so angry.
A cop kills a hoodlum on the street, he might as well just dump the body someplace. Because those snot-nosed young bastards down at the DA's office will crucify him one way or another.
It's almost like, you know, the police should be held accountable for their actions because they're meant to be the law and good.
You boys rookies?
Yes, sir. Traffic.
And if he needs to shoot someone in the gut, he's got it down, apparently.
Care to try?
Oh, no, sir. No, I don't think so. Come on.
Oh, go on, sweet.
Hey, I mean, you did alright. Look at that.
Tell me, where'd you learn to shoot? Not around here.
Oh, no, sir. No. Airborne Rangers. Special Forces. And Davis is just dog nuts. He's a lot better.
A lot better. When I get back on homicide, I hope you boys will come see me.
Good. Thank you very much.
We'll do
We
it.
like that.
Thank you.
Look at Harry making friends. Like, one of these people are clearly, like, the vigilante bike officer man. At least one of them is. If not all of them. Maybe they're a gang. They're a gang of vigilante cops or some shit. Were you invited to this pool party? Because I don't think you were. Well, this is just going to be a massacre then, apparently. That's where this is going. Who were these people? Who were they? Why are they being shot down?
Sir, there were about 200 murders in the city last year. You want to make a comment on that?
There'll be no bombs in pools. This town belongs to the people. We're going to have law and order here. Now, that's all I have to say at this time.
Lieutenant, what does that mean, Lieutenant?
I mean, that wasn't the best speech, was it? Didn't invoke much confidence.
Good night, Harry.
Harry, suddenly all family friendly. What's going on? Has he gone soft? Has Harry got soft? If that's what happened.
Have you seen Charlie?
Yes, I saw him last night. And then he started playing a little Russian roulette with his revolver.
You know where he's living right now?
I don't know, and I don't care anymore. He's so sick. He shouldn't be allowed to carry a gun.
I mean, you're not wrong. Maybe you shouldn't be carrying a gun, but you could do with some help and some support. That might be a good thing.
Well, I'm just wondering why you've never made a pass at me.
Well, because I'm not attracted to you? Maybe?
With all those kids, do you think I'll ever get laid?
Harry's just like, the fuck just happened? That was so awkward. Like, everything about that scene was so awkward.
How's it going?
By the magazine rack. The owner remembers seeing him just before the last robbery.
Jesus! That poor kid. Man, he committed. The kid committed to that bit.
Get on your knees!
Is this going to give Harry a clean shot? You don't know what you're doing, you stupid criminal. Yep, there it is. We're about 40 minutes in so far, and I feel like we haven't actually hit upon like the main plot as of yet. Like, so far the movie's just been Harry stops a hijacking. Harry stops a robbery. Harry's kind of looking in on his friend who's going through some stuff. Like, and in the background we have, like, this vigilante biker cop doing stuff, and no one's really looking into it yet. I'm assuming we'll get there eventually, but it's just interesting to take this very sort of slow pace to the story. Just like, we're just going to show you Harry doing and stuff, living his life. Alright, well, this guy looks creepy. I don't want to prejudge, but no one smirks like that. If they're, like, not got any dubious thoughts. What the hell is going on now?
You're on your way to see me, huh?
Yes, in the honest.
Is this now going to be Harry stops a pimp? Is that the next thing we're moving into? Or vigilante, biker, cop, man stops a pimp? One of the two. Yeah, I don't think this guy's going to help you. Like, he was creepy, and now he's just going to let this happen, because of course he is. Or just yeet the hell out. Bye! That is dark. Jesus. Okay, well, I don't know how that's going to factor into anything else that has happened so far. But presumably either Harry's going to investigate or vigilante cop man is going to take this guy out. Oh, here it comes. as if the film heard me. I like the shot though, the camera being attached to the side of the car like this is pretty good.
You know who I am? I'll still have to see your license and registration, sir.
Yeah, you're... His face! Jesus Christ. Was that necessary? I think he got him on the first couple, you know? You know what? I think there's a twist here. I think all this time I've been focused on those group of traffic cops who are ace shots. Maybe it's Harry's friend all along. And they're throwing me some curveballs to try and keep me off that scent.
You're the cop who lives upstairs.
That's right.
Mind if I ask you a question?
Why have you never made a pass at me?
What does a girl have to do to go to bed with you?
What the fuck is going on? What? Who wrote this movie? Clint? Did Clint write this movie? I swear every woman who's been on screen so far has been like, yo, how do I sleep with you?
Narcotics and prostitution.
This is the cream in the bottle, Callahan. Someone's trying to put the courts out of business. Somebody wants it all. This guy was just a pimp. In these cases, there's always an officer right on top of the crime. But nobody's ever seen a thing.
Well, I'll get on ballistic reports first thing in the morning.
Well, we're an hour in and Harry is finally investigating our main villain. It's finally happening. Like, what? Seriously, did Clint write this? This has nothing to do with anything. I think I need to make out with someone in this point of the movie. I think that's important.
The gun was a .357 Magnum. The other bullets are all too deformed to do us any good.
.357 Magnum, huh?
So they're very much pointing the fingers at the traffic cops brigade.
Now, this one is for your special talents, Callahan. Frank Palancio. At one point, he was Ricker's principal assassin.
But this isn't his style. Not the cars, anyway. It's too direct.
So I'm assuming what we're going to get here is, obviously, he's got to keep an eye on this guy, who clearly isn't the killer, but maybe he's going to catch a sight of the actual killer. What the hell? I've never seen a silencer built on a revolver before. That is not something I've ever seen. Oh my god, as if it would actually sound like that. Maybe I'm completely wrong and ignorant. I mean, I'm not a gun expert by any stretch.
No, please, no!
That's a lot of dead naked people. Silenced revolver did the job, apparently. Oh, that's a step too far right there. Oh wait, that's the guy, isn't it? That's Harry's friend, isn't it?
Everything seems to be all right.
Oh, it's this guy. So my original suspect was correct. Clearly I was reading the wrong red herring, because I was sure the movie was going to, like, twist it. Because it felt like pointing fingers at the traffic cops was too easy. And that meant the twist was going to be that it was his friend who was actually doing it. But no.
He didn't deserve to get it that way. I feel responsible somehow.
I wonder why that is. Way to not play it subtly whatsoever. It's almost as if it could have been me that did it.
What I can't figure out, Frank, is how the hell that kid Davis got in there first. I mean, you guys were right across the street.
Because he did it. Because he did it. Come on, Harry.
Mind if I try that one? Not bad. I seem to have lost the last one. You get used to it.
He's going to analyze the bullet. That's what he's going to do. He's purposely shot the bullet somewhere where he can get it later and compare it. Sneaky, sneaky! I was wondering what the point of this whole target practice competition thing was. There it is. So we can get hold of one of his bullets.
No thanks. I just saw something that killed my appetite.
Yep, match the bullet. Match the bullet.
By the way, I'd like to have Davis and Sweet as my backup squad.
Davis and Sweet?
Well, you drum up somebody in the department who can shoot as well, and I'll use him.
God damn it, there isn't supposed to be any shooting. But
he had such a twitch. It was like, no shooting? Huh? Huh? But that's what I do. Right, looks like we're going to go arrest this hitman guy who doesn't really have anything to do with anything. It's just who he's been forced to go and stake out because the lieutenant's like, it's this guy. He's our killer.
Police officers, we'd like to ask you some questions.
I'm just a watchman. Nobody's here.
We have warrants for a search of the premises.
Serve him.
Well, there goes that guy. Oh, he's going to go crazy. Davis is going to lose it and just go full-on Punisher. There it is. He did it. He did the thing. Shit, no, no thank you. I would not want to be that stuntman right now. Yeah, you're dead. You're dead. Like, his body should have been, like, skewered on the end of that.
Would you be surprised if I told you a bunch of rookie cops were the ones that were doing all the killing?
No, because it's the obvious answer.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to prosecute a cop?
There they are. Looking like the weirdest boy band ever.
People are simply ridding society of killers that would be caught and sentenced anyway if our courts worked properly. You, of all people, should understand that.
You gonna try and bring him over? Join the dark side, Harry. Now he's gonna have to tiptoe around his apartment like, have they left a bomb somewhere? Booby trap? Is the girl who Harry is now sleeping with for some reason gonna trip it off somehow? Yeah, there's no way they were just gonna leave. Like, they just drove off.
Plastic explosive.
A bomb?
That's right.
Oh no, don't do it. Don't open it. I thought this might happen. I thought he was probably going to get killed. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Oh, man.
Stay right where you are. I'll be down there myself. Don't move.
Now I'm starting to think it's the lieutenant in on this. Is the lieutenant in on this as well? Like, he seems pretty desperate to try and keep the suspicion off of the other cops. Oh, I fucking knew it. I caught this.
There isn't one man we've killed who didn't deserve what was coming to him.
Yes, there is. Charlie McCoy.
Well, what would you have done?
I'd have upheld the law.
Yep. I mean, it's so weird, like, considering in the last movie, like, Harry hated the system so much he decided to throw his badge away. And now he's like, well, I'll stick with it until someone does something about it. Which is, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I've missed something. Alright, well that sort of deals with that problem. Man, that ain't no power steering right there. You've got to... Yay, for the crates. That's some 70s action. Yeah, hit those crates. Now that was like the least subtle piece of like opinion piece about hippies there. This is what Harry thinks of those hippies in their vans. Wow, okay. That was a pretty good stunt. Like, to make yourself look as unconscious as that and flop out of a moving car. Ooh, we gotta do some sneaky stuff. I mean, how did you not see him? He just, like, moved right across in front of you. This is a great location, though, for, like, a final showdown, this dilapidated ship. Oh, that's some sneaky right there. That's sneaky. Harry's gonna turn into Michael Myers and just, like, jump out of the shadows. There it is! There it is! Yeah, kick him in the helmet. Kick him in the helmet! Alright, Harry, you got him. You got him, Harry. Harry, you got him. Okay, you can stop with the kung fu chopping. You got him. Yoink. Damn! Maybe you should have failed sooner. Damn. You made the jump, but didn't finish it. Didn't finish it properly. Is he just dead?
This was right.
I hit the water and I died. Like GTA 3. Oh, it's
Hold
good.
it right there, Callahan.
Yeah, it's this guy. This fucking guy. Oh, God.
You just killed 3 police officers, Harry.
I'm gonna prosecute you with your own system.
Well, technically, you know, one of them just drove off the side of a boat. That wasn't Harry who made him die. Bye. Have a nice explosion. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait till it looks like there isn't an actor in the car anymore. How's he going to explain all this? There are, like, 3 dead cops. Soon to be 4. There we go. Oh, he didn't do it. I was really hoping he would just... Each of these movies just ends with him throwing his badge into the water. Just for him to be a cop again the next movie. How is he going to explain all this? The guy had a point. There's 3 dead cops, and now this guy dead. The only person to have seen it all happen is Harry. No explanation. Like, how is he going to explain all of this? Okay, that was Magnum Force, the second in the Dirty Harry movie universe. First things, let's start with the positives. I like to start with positives on this channel and see what I liked. I actually really liked the setting for the final showdown. I think it was pretty interesting having it in that dilapidated ship. I mean, obviously, there's no story purpose for that to be the final setting. I just thought it was like an interesting location to have that all take place. And I actually liked a lot of the vehicle work in here, like the chase sequences. You know, obviously it's got that very visceral way of doing it, because obviously in this time the only way you do those stunt sequences is if you do them for real. Same goes for like the shootouts we had. Like they you know, they kind of got like that western vibe to them, and they're like fun in that way. So, you know, so generally speaking, I did enjoy all of the action beats in here. Although I will say this film I don't think it was as well directed as the first one was. There were a couple of interesting shots in there. Like there was some interesting uses of the camera and certain angles that were used. It just wasn't as often as it was in the first film. There was just some choice moments when they obviously decided to do something a little bit different with the camera, like be it attach it to a certain point on a car, to shoot from a particular angle, all that kind of stuff to sort of make a point of something. Overall, you know, I would say not as well directed as the first one, but there was some good stuff in there here and there. It was just very, as I say, choice moments. Where I started to get into sort of more middling ground in terms, not stuff I necessarily just didn't enjoy or anything, I just felt like could have been done better, but I saw what it was going for. It's largely like the story. Like, first things first, that's very confusing, is as a sequel to the first movie ends with Harry throwing his badge away, like, I'm done with this system that I'm working in, it clearly doesn't work for me and how I do my job, only for this movie to start with him back in the police force. Clearly, you know, he's been either demoted or put onto duties that are beneath him, or at least how he sees it to be anyway. But it's very odd that they just decide now he's a cop, even though obviously the last movie ends with him quite literally throwing that life away. So I don't know, it feels like I missed something, or like, I don't know, I have no idea what, like, clearly there was a behind the scenes choice to say, actually, well, we kind of want him to be a cop still, so can we just have him come in as a cop and no one question it? Can we get away with that? That's what it kind of felt like. So obviously, similarly to the first film, this one is dealing with the idea of holding police accountable for their actions. When's it right and wrong for a cop to use their weapons? What is the process of that? What is the system? Like the whole, like, I suppose, like, very particular, obviously, the American sort of law system and how it all works, and in tangent with how the police do their jobs and everything. And it's interesting because I suppose, you know, around the 70s, that's probably when those conversations first started happening. Obviously, there's still very real conversations about that going on today, but I imagine, obviously I wasn't alive at the time, but I imagine that's when these sorts of conversations were starting to happen in terms of, you know, who polices the police and all of that stuff. And obviously here we're dealing with a group of vigilantes who are just going out and killing the people who they know are criminals, but they can't get them taken down for whatever reason, be it because they're too rich and wealthy to get put into prison or whatever the case may be. So they're just going out of their way to just take them out the old-fashioned way, as it were, bounty hunter style, and it's a lot more overt this time around. It's a little bit messy though. That's my sort of biggest problem with how the story sort of shows itself. It's clear that Harry, as a character, our protagonist, is someone who believes in, like, bad guys, you know, they don't deserve the light of day. They should just be taken out when we can. However, this time around, he seems a little bit more like, well, you know, we need evidence. We need to actually prove that they are guilty. We need to follow these systems, even though I don't agree with all of it. You know, it's a system we have to go by, and it's what stops innocent people from getting killed, which is obviously what happened with the vigilantes. They were getting innocent people killed in their crossfire via their actions. I really at sometimes was struggling to understand, like, what is the movie actually trying to say. It almost felt like it was having an argument with itself in terms of like where it fell. Like, it was like, yeah, we don't agree with the system in terms of like how to stop criminals, but we can't just go around shooting people. But we actually do like going around shooting people. It's just so much. I cut the confusion. It feels like the movie doesn't actually know where it's going with itself sometimes because of that. It's also pretty interesting that Harry seemed a little bit softer compared to the first movie. Like, we actually saw him smiling a lot more this time around. We saw him interacting with kids. We saw him, you know, being more of a almost gentle presence within the movie. He wasn't quite the hard-edged cynic that we saw in the first movie. He obviously still had a edge and didn't really like authority all that much, but yeah, he didn't seem quite as like, you just don't want to be around him as much as he was in the first movie. The structure of the film, again, was a bit messy. Like, the opening hour of the film is basically just Harry dealing with certain situations, and I guess what the point of that is to sort of show like what criminals were doing, like the hijacking, the guy at the very beginning who clearly got out of who basically got off of prison time because of his wealth, and then that's our introduction to the vigilantes just going in and taking them out. 40 minutes to an hour were more or less just sort of seeing Harry living his day-to-day life, just doing his cop work, and then suddenly we shifted gears into him investigating the actual vigilante killings. I don't know, it just felt like that first half could have been tightened up. I don't think this movie needed to be 2 hours long, is generally my consensus, is that there is easily a way to tighten all that up and to sort of get into the main meat of what the film's about earlier. But that's just me. Maybe you feel differently about that, but that was my take from that. Because overall, the actual story itself is a lot simpler than what the movie is putting it forward as, was my general feeling. Like, at the end of the day, the movie's about, you know, vigilantes going out, killing people who they believe to be evil. Harry's sent to investigate them. That's the bottom line. That's what the movie is. But it just keeps throwing in these other elements and not doing anything too meaningful with them. Like the whole aspect of Harry's friend who was going through some trauma and he was getting held accountable for some things he'd done on duty, and it led him down sort of a darker path, and he was considering suicide, and all of that seemed to be in place just for the sake of there being, oh, maybe it's this guy doing it, or even fooled me to an extent, like thinking. But I was more fooled by it because I thought, well, maybe there's going to be a twist, maybe it'll be the other guy and not the people who it obviously is. But that was resolved pretty quickly, which then just left the people who it obviously was doing the killings. I suppose I'll give the movie this. It took me right up until pretty much the end of the movie to realise that the lieutenant was in on it. Although all the signs were there earlier on, but it wasn't until a little bit later that I started to maybe just click that he seems a little too desperate to keep suspicions off of those guys. So that's when it started to click in my mind. But no, I'll give the movie that. Like, that was a somewhat well done sort of reveal that he was in on it. Although, if you were to watch the movie again, or if I were to watch the movie again, it's probably painfully obvious that he's probably involved as well. I suppose the bottom line is with this movie is that I did enjoy it as sort of, you know, a 70s action police drama, like, and just sort of taking it as a sort of heightened sort of like reality of what that world is and the vigilante stuff. And no, I don't take this movie too seriously, and same with the first one, I didn't take that one too seriously as well. It's just sort of going with it for what it is. And by and large, like I say, I enjoyed the action sequences. They're fun enough. And it's like there's stuff in here that I think is intentionally funny, and there is stuff in there that I think is unintentionally funny. But overall leads to an entertaining film. But I do think like it's not as good as the first one. I do think the story is overstuffed for what it is and doesn't need to be 2 hours long. It's just a bit too messy, and it could get to the meat a little bit quicker than what it does. And I do feel like the film doesn't really know what it's aiming for. Like the first film had, like I said, this whole idea of how the police are investigated by themselves, what their place is within the law system is, and how they should conduct themselves. But I felt the first movie did it with a little bit more nuance, and you know, was a little bit more balanced on the arguments it was putting forward. Like it had an argument for both sides. Here it seemed a lot more like it was leaning on, yeah, let's just shoot the bad guys, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do that, right? That's basically what this film was putting forward. But then it always, like I said, it seems like the film was having an argument with itself, like, but we really want to shoot the bad guys, but our villains need to come across as villains, which was kind of funny and a little bit silly. But you know, that's what I mean. Like that's really the detracting thing for me, is that I feel like the first film kind of did what this film was doing, but better. But as I said, I enjoyed the action. It was fun enough for what it was. If you've not seen this movie, I would recommend the first film over this one. But, you know, if you like your 70s sort of thriller action movies and, you know, with that kind of gritty, sort of grimy sort of feel to them, if you're into that sort of thing, you know, watch this one as well. It's a little bit silly in places, like like the women who were just throwing themselves at Clint Eastwood for no real reason just was really silly to me. But you know, it's fun enough for what it is. It's enjoyable enough for what it is. Just don't take it too seriously is basically my bottom line with this one. But no, that was Magnum Force, the second in the Dirty Harry universe. I don't know when I'll get to the other ones. If I do, if you'd like me to, please leave comments below. Let me know what you think of this movie, and what you think of the further sequels without spoiling them, but if you'd like me to cover them on the channel one day. But yeah, that's Magnum Force. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. It lets me know you liked it. It helps this video get seen by more people. Maybe consider subscribing as well so you don't miss any future videos. And there's a bunch of other stuff you can check out as well, so I'd appreciate that. But for now, thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.